In a world full of amazing new technologies like AI and rockets, sometimes the most important bet you can make isn't on the technology itself, but on the person who is building it. Today, we're going to hear from one of the best, Cathie Wood. She's going to explain why she believes one person is the undisputed greatest innovator of our time. We're going to break down her latest interview where she makes a huge call on the winner of the robo-taxi race and reveals her simple but powerful strategy of betting on strong founders to build the future. Let's get into it.
Let's move on and talk about robo-taxis and Elon. More broadly on Elon Musk, is he the greatest innovator alive today?
Yes, no doubt. You know, it's interesting. I was on a show for the first time after the company started in 2015. And I made the comment back then that I thought he was the greatest inventor of our age. And of course, we had just started the company. And I walked out of that program thinking, oh no, I hope I'm right on this, because I just said that and that will be replayed. But it is true. It is true. He's proven it out. He's a genius.
And him shaking hands again with the president yesterday.
Let's just quickly interject right here. Wilfred asks if Elon Musk is the greatest innovator alive, and Cathie doesn't even hesitate for a second. Yes, no doubt. What's really incredible though is that she says she first made this claim all the way back in 2015. Think about that for a minute. Back then, Tesla was still a very risky company, and many smart people on Wall Street thought it would fail. Calling him the greatest inventor of our age at that time was an extremely bold prediction. In my opinion, this shows you the core of ARK's entire investment idea. They don't wait for a company to become big and safe like everyone else. Their whole strategy is to identify things such as the one visionary genius who can truly change the world, and then make a big, long-term bet on that person's vision before the rest of the world catches on. It's a bit like a talent scout who sees a future superstar playing in a high school game long before they become famous. It's a strategy that has obviously worked very well for her.
Yes.
Is that a important step, or actually the innovation outweighs even the politics?
As we said when the split happened, we didn't know if it was engineered partly and got out of hand, engineered partly because what does President Xi Jinping have to hold over President Trump's head? Tesla. A huge part of Tesla's production and consumption comes from China. So was that somewhat manufactured and then went way off the rails?
Have you asked Elon about that?
I have not. I stay away from politics. We just keep our focus on the technology. But my hypothesis was that might have been true. And even if that was true, and even if it was a bad breakup, which it seemed to be, but that President Trump needed Elon Musk's genius to be number one in space. And he's a realist, President Trump. Number one in space. I mean, Tesla has right now, I think 95% of all the satellites up in space. It's going to be very hard for anyone to break through that.
Let's talk about robo-taxis. We said that with AI, it's going to be winner takes most. Is robo-taxis winner takes all?
Winner take most again. I think in the U.S., for example, which we think will be the largest market. We don't think China will be the largest market because the cost to ride in a taxi there is 35 cents per mile, right? And in the U.S., the cost per mile for an Uber, minimum $2, and at search time,
like a joke.
$4 to $8. It's ridiculous. So it's going to be much more valuable in the United States. And in the United States, we have two players. Everyone else has failed. I know that Zoox with Amazon is trying to break in, but they've been working at it for a while. The two so far are Tesla and Waymo. Waymo commercialized way before Tesla in 2018 or 19. Tesla commercialized just this June in Austin, Texas. But now we're watching the race, and Tesla is moving very quickly. Waymo's trying to keep up. We think Tesla wins the race mostly because it is vertically integrated from a manufacturing point of view. Whereas Waymo is dependent on other auto manufacturers, and it's dependent on a hardware stack that is much more expensive. It has 23 sensors. So we've got LiDAR, radar, and then just plain computer vision. Tesla's relying only on 9 sensors, computer vision alone. And the philosophy there is, hey, how do we drive cars, human beings? With 2 sensors, our eyes, right? Okay, so Tesla has 9 and believes that a Tesla car will be 10 times safer. It's almost as safe as a human being right now, 10 times safer in the next few years.
And it's going to be so much more efficient for travelers in terms of traffic.
Traffic, actually, we believe if you cut the cost of something, we believe in the U.S., these are U.S. numbers, the cost to drive a personally owned car is roughly 75 cents per mile. At scale, we think that cost for a robo-taxi will be 25 cents. So if you cut the cost of something by 1/3, you will get more of it. Will there be fewer cars on the road? Yes. There will be fewer auto sales because the capacity utilization of a robo-taxi will be 60%. Some people think 70%, whereas the capacity utilization of a personally owned vehicle is only 4 or 5%.
It's going to be really interesting to see
It
who wins
is.
This is such a clear and simple explanation of the robotaxi race. Cathie says there are only 2 real players left in the United States, Tesla and Waymo, but Cathie believes Tesla has the winning strategy. Why? Well, Cathie gives 3 simple reasons. First, Tesla builds its own cars from the ground up. Second, their technology is cheaper to make. And third, their approach is smarter. They use cameras to see the world like a human does instead of using a load of expensive and complicated extra sensors. It's a simple, common sense bet on a better and more scalable way of doing things.
Almost wonder with what you say about Gemini and what you say about Waymo, whether I'm almost surprised you don't have a position in Alphabet as a hedge.
We do in our more specialized strategies. And as we gain conviction in what they're doing, you never know what will happen in the other strategies.
Well, keep an eye on your disclosures as they go ahead.
Yes.
A lot of people do that for us. Every time you make a trade, the whole world knows about it. In terms of Elon more broadly, I mean, you mentioned the access to data he's got from X to Neuralink to SpaceX.
Oh, and X is the other one I didn't mention, of course. That's
tons of
Twitter.
of info there as well. Is it a problem? I mean, I guess it's not for you because you have positions in most of them, including the private ones. But is it a problem that all of that isn't under one roof in a kind of corporate governance, access to investors type? I guess we all know about it, but would it be more preferential if all of Elon Musk's businesses were available in the Musk company? Because it's sort of one might benefit more than the other, and it might be the private companies, not the public ones.
Well, we think Tesla's got a huge appreciation ahead. So I think what we're learning about innovation is founder-led companies are very important. I know this from setting up my own company. You set the culture, you set the standards, and as long as the leader is a visionary leader with high standards and drive, that's the kind of company you want for, especially now, all of the innovation that's taking place in such a short period of time. Managing by consensus is fine when the world isn't changing at a rapid rate. Consensus is what many people are really saying when they say governance, right? I think I'm going to agree with Elon and Mark Zuckerberg on this one, given where we are. We've never been in a technology revolution like this one.
This is really key to understanding how ARK Invest really thinks. Wilfred asks if all of Elon's companies should be one big company, but Cathie explains why that's not the most important thing. Cathie says that right now, when technology is changing so incredibly fast, you need a company with a strong, visionary founder leading the way. You need a leader with a clear vision, not a big company run by committees where everyone has to agree with each other. Cathie's making a clear bet on a founder-led innovation. She believes that a single, driven genius can change the world much faster than any big, slow corporation. I happen to agree. Cathie Wood's strategy is simple and powerful. Identify the true geniuses who are building the future and bet on their vision. If you found this video of any value whatsoever, why not consider hitting subscribe? Cheers.